This is the advice that you get when things seem very chaotic or stressful. Maybe you're having an anxiety attack, panic attack, or things are just so absolutely crazy you don't know what to do. So the advice of just breathe in a moment's time could actually save you. My name is Dana. I'm here to show you how to breathe into bliss. Not just to reduce stress and anxiety and things that are chaotic in your life, but also to bring in this sensation, this essence of how to make everything a more intimate experience. My background is in Tantra. If you don't know what that is, go view the video. I'm going to link it down below, and it explains a little more in depth about Tantra and what it is and what it's not. Not all about the sexual things and intimacy, but it's actually about oneness, connection, and self. So this breath, we breathe all the time, right? So why would I talk about something so mediocre? But conscious breathing is what we're here to talk about. Consciously being aware, consciously being intentional with things in your life. That is the key to having breath be your best friend. I am a trained breathwork facilitator with One Mind Academy, and I do different workshops, retreats, and I actually do corporate wellness programs. So it's interesting how all of these things can kind of encompass around one modality called breathing. There are breathwork journeys, there's breathwork techniques. If you ever look at someone who's having an anxiety attack, what do they usually say? Breathe into a paper bag. Why? It slows down the breathing, which in turn slows down your brain. So this is a vital part of when you want to be intimate. You don't want to be doing your laundry list of things to do. You don't want to be thinking of other things or even being like, "Oh, I don't feel well," or "I'm not looking my best." Because when you learn specifically how to breathe into the body, your brain gets to kind of have a break. It gets to shut down in a way that allows you to feel deeper and more sensations. This is why your body is able to have a multiple orgasm. Again, please watch my video from last week. We talked about edging. So breathing is the natural second step to this beautiful way to slow down everything to have a multi-orgasmic being. So this is exactly what happens for men and women, okay? This is not just a woman's phenomenon. This is something a man can learn how to do to really be in the flow of things and a more energetic, more feminine way of lovemaking. So breath can really be your stress reducer. It can actually help you emotionally regulate. It really speaks to the mind-body connection. We are so in our heads all the time, all day. Think about it. You're logically making decisions, analyzing things and this and that and looking out for dangers and then you come home and you're supposed to be this like goddess or god and all these things and you're like, how in the world am I supposed to shut this down? There are other things you can be doing, like a shutdown ritual, or just like as soon as you pass through the threshold of your door, you know you're leaving work at work and home at home. But the breath will always be your number one best friend because it is such a vital part of your whole entire life. It encompasses what we know as a life force energy. And when we learn to control, so pranayama is a term that is used in the yoga community. It technically means prana, life force, and yama means to control. So you're controlling your life force energy. This is what is known as conscious breathing. So you really want to understand that you have the power to slow things down and actually put a pause on life. When we hold our breath, we're holding our life force energy. And it allows us to just let everything go. Breath has been such an amazing part of my journey. I, as a kid, had asthma, and I really was gotten curious more about my lung capacity, why I was having trouble breathing when it was to do with exercise or any of those things. And what I started to notice was when I wasn't being conscious of these things, that's when the asthma attacks, the panic attacks started. It wasn't just exercise induced. It was also this like, I don't know what's going on. It was this, I was not connected to my body. I just didn't have the know-how or the actual language around what was going on for me. I just knew I was in a very high, crazy, chaotic state. And a lot of my life was like that. That is known as your sympathetic nervous system. Your nervous system is the regulator of all the things that happen or don't happen to you. It tells you when to fear something or if something seems okay and safe. And sometimes the mind and the body don't match up. So the breath is an amazing tool to be able to start to connect both. It calms you down. Look at the anxiety example with breathing into a paper bag. You don't need the paper bag necessarily. You can recreate that in your own body, but it's so cool because you actually have a tool that is free, that is already inside of you, and you automatically do it. We're just training ourselves to know how to navigate it a bit differently than just the average automatic response. Now, a parasympathetic state is the rest and digest. This is the state we want to get to if we have a very high stress life. I don't really know anyone that doesn't have a high stress life, so this is a very important thing to be listening to, how to get into the state more often so you can show up as your best self. When we don't, we are so tense and we can't really do anything. We can't produce more. We can't understand what's going on. If you actually think about an orgasm, for example, what is an orgasm? It is a buildup of tension and finally you release. How on earth are you going to build up to a release if you're tense already? There's no room, there's no space. So we want to live our lives in the exhale. And I have the exact tools you need to understand your body, to understand your breath, to understand a little bit deeper of how this beautiful tool gets to be kind of shown to you in your life. Like I said, it can be for your intimacy. In Tantra, we learn to slow down the mind so we can be fully present with ourselves and the other person. Just take a moment right now. Breathe in through your nose. Hold at the top. Let every thought go, and as you release, exhale and let go of anything that does not feel good in your body. When you go on a breath journey, you get to feel sensations and tingles in your hands, in your limbs, things that you may not have been exposed to before. There's even an intense version called tetany. When your hands kind of clam out, you look like little claws. It's totally natural and totally normal because we're almost hyperventilating with the control of the breathing. It's an equivalent experience to doing ayahuasca or any kind of hallucinogen that would have you be in a different state. We actually, as humans, have access to this part of our brain utilizing the breath. So I don't know about you, but if I didn't have to take a drug to experience the same thing, I think I would want to know what that's about. Not to mention how much more sensation and more vibration comes through you when you're being intimate. It could be with yourself, it could be with your partner. You're literally your own freaking vibrator, which I think is really cool. Not to mention, helps to become multi-orgasmic. If you want to learn more about what breath can do for you and your life, please let me know in the comments below and I will reach out to you personally. I want to know if it's in the intimacy realm, if you're in corporate and you need to have more productivity and less stress and more mind-body connection so you can produce what you need to produce and know how to shut down or shut off all of the craziness when you go home to yourself, to your life, and to your partner. I want to know what really goes on for you and why you haven't reached your goals already. This is just one of the many things that I offer that can help you. I have a little mini course of breath work to really get you going. And then I have one-on-one sessions that really help you access that part of the brain that I was talking about when you're in that kind of like hallucinogenic state. Everything is beautiful, everything is wonderful. There are a couple people that are not suited to breathwork journeys specifically. So if you want one of those journeys and you are pregnant, have a history of seizures or heart conditions, this is probably not for you. However, we can direct you in a way that allows you to just breathe and regulate yourself on any given moment. And you don't necessarily have to go through a journey to really get the benefits of your breath. My name is Dana. I am here to connect you to your bliss always. And this week we're breathing into it. So make sure you subscribe and like and share this with anyone you think could benefit from it. I just want to reach the world in every way possible. We have a newsletter that comes out every week if you want to join the email list. And I'm always on Instagram if you want a little more behind the scenes of like how I live my life and how I went from being a codependent cheater to a self-actualized leader with the love of her life. So please always choose you first. Choose the path that really allows you to heal and show up authentically. And I will see you next week. We're going to be diving into more techniques on how to get into the body. And I'm going to explain to you what kind of business I started with my partner to really have this be more alive in people's lives. I'll see you next week. Always stay true to your heart. Bye.